Episode 17 of the On the Air podcast, starring you and today's guest. From Trenton, New Jersey, curator and founder of Ourcade Games and one of the hosts of the Ourcade Games podcast, Miami Dolphins enthusiast. He's the people's champ, and you can find him on Twitter at Jersey Baller. Please welcome Tashaun. Welcome to the show this week, the homie Tashaun. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Do you prefer Sean, Tashaun, or Tay?
Well, it's Tashaun, so yeah, I don't prefer Tashaun.
So wait, I fucked up.
Kind of.
Is that a common mistake that people make with your name?
Yep.
All right, cool.
That's why I don't even get mad no more, because I done heard it all my life, so it's like, whatever.
No, but the thing is, man, it's your name. You know what I mean? Like, people can't just call you what they want to call you. Like, that's your name.
No, it's not like I answer to it, but it's just, I can see why you would think that's how it's said, so I don't get offended or anything. I just correct people.
Hold on.
Then if they keep messing it up, I just say, just call me Sean. You don't gotta worry about
it. Hey, you fucking up my name too much, bro. Look, just call me this. That's
pretty much.
That's like this.
Like, look, bro, Sean.
That's like this Asian dude. I remember in high school, his name was, I forgot what it was, but all up through middle school, through high school, I was calling him this name, and then like our senior year. He was like, he was telling everybody to call him Chris. And I was like, Chris, what the fuck? He was like, yeah, man, I'm just tired of people fucking up my name, so I'm going to just give him something easier to say. like the teachers.
Like, I give you a name to call me. You're going to mess it up. Mess it up the way I tell you to mess it up.
Right.
Jesus.
Right. But he was like, you cool because you always got it right. Like you know how the teachers will be like, you know, is there anything you prefer to be called, or how do you with him the teacher was like, how do you pronounce your name? And he was like, Chris. And she was like, Chris,
dog.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, like Chris. You just say Chris. And she was like, are you sure? He was like, I know how to say my name. But anyway, man, so it's Tashaun. Tashaun.
Yeah, tuh. Like what they say on Twitter, like TUH, tuh. There you go.
All right, cool, man. That is the second time on this podcast somebody has we've had to correct somebody's spelling of how to say their name. So cool. This is definitely gonna be the platform for people learning how to say folks' name.
People learn how to say people's names.
Yeah, like that. It's a YouTube page that just shows you how to say words and stuff like that. I actually had to use that last night. That's cool. So you're at the airport.
Yeah, I'm about to go home.
Where you
headed back to Jersey?
Back to Jersey? Is that where you're originally from?
Yeah, Trenton, New Jersey.
So
yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. All the way up in Jersey, how did you become a Dolphins fan?
Oh, that's a funny question, actually. What happened was, you remember Tecmo Bowl, right?
Yeah.
On Nintendo?
Yeah.
All right, so on Tecmo Bowl, if you remember, most teams had 2 run plays and 2 pass plays. That was it.
Yeah.
So one day, like, I used to play with the Raiders like everybody else because they had Bo, Marcus Allen, yada, yada. Or I played with Chicago because they had Walter Payton.
Uh-huh.
But one day, I stumbled across Miami, and I noticed they had 3 pass plays and 1 run play, which was, like, weird to me. So I'm like, why would they only have 1 run play and 3 pass plays? So I started playing, and, like, Marino was the truth. I know it's just a video game.
Yeah.
But, like, he just couldn't miss. So it made me kind of, like, start watching him in real life. And I'm like, yeah, this dude is, like, the greatest ever. Like, that was the first quarterback or even football player I can remember ever having some kind of attachment to. So I just became a fan of him, and by extension, I just became a fan of the Dolphins. And like I always told myself, when he retired, I'll just, I don't know, find a new team, or I'll just watch football and not have allegiance. But I was so invested by this, I couldn't stop. Like, it just don't work like that. I tried to stop being a Dolphins fan, but I'd still be checking the scores and caring. I was like, I'm a fan. I might as well not fight it.
Especially when you had to go through some of the heartbreaks of him losing in the Super Bowl.
Bruh. The crazy thing is, like, he went to the Super Bowl when I was like 2, so like I wasn't a fan yet. But like he never got close to going back really, which is hilarious to me. Like, it makes me feel like it's my fault. Like, dude was in the Super Bowl in his second season, and he set the all-time passing record. And then a couple of years later, I become a fan, and he never sees those heights again. It's like, was it me?
Man, let me tell you, man, don't be so hard on yourself, man. I'm pretty sure it had you had very little to do with that.
Yeah, it's hard to not feel that way sometimes, though, because like none of my favorite teams have. No, that's a lie. The Tar Heels, I like the Tar Heels in basketball. They've won a championship twice since I've been a fan, but that's it. And the Hurricanes won it in 2001, I believe.
Yeah, with Ken
and then they
Dorsey.
lost it the next year. Yeah, when they had an NFL roster.
Whoo, that squad was
pretty
vicious.
much it. Like, I've had no professional success. Like, I'm a Cubs fan, a Knicks fan, a Dolphins fan. Pray for me.
Hey, I mean, you definitely like you taking some chances with I think the best I think the best one on your list is probably the Knicks.
Not right now.
not right now, but I think.
But I mean, at least the Knicks made the finals in my life, like in '99.
Yeah.
Spurs watched them, but at least they got there, so we got close.
Yeah,
at least I got that.
But the Cubs, that's probably not gonna happen, brother.
Nah, Cubs will win it when I die.
Damn, man.
Dolphins, I don't know. Dolphins might be decent this year. They ain't Super Bowl decent, but they'll be competitive. So we on the right track there.
I like them this year, man. I like them this year.
We'll see.
Let's talk about Ourcade games, man. The podcast, the site, the movement.
All right, let's talk about it. Where you want to start?
So tell us about it. Where did the idea come from? You host a podcast. How long has it been going on? Just give us some background on it. I want to push people to it.
All right. Well, it started in 2012. Actually, it don't feel like it's been 3 years, but actually, yesterday was the 3-year anniversary.
Okay.
And I guess I should have made a bigger deal about that, but I'm lazy. So
we'll make a big deal of it right now.
Where it basically came from? Yeah, I guess we can talk about it now. But it came from me and actually your first podcast guest, which was Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually something we had wanted to do for like a long time. We always talked about it back in the day, just like starting our own video game site or whatever. So that particular year, he was just like, man, let's just start it. Like, what are we waiting for? I'm like, I don't really know. But I knew nothing about starting a site or nothing like that. Like, I didn't know anything about it. So I knew I had a WordPress blog already. So I knew we could do it that way just to get started and then try to grow it over time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to make it a WordPress. And we're like, what's the name going to be? So we're brainstorming names. We can't come up with nothing.
That's the hardest part.
Frustrated. Yeah, I'm like, the name is going to set it off. Like, so I'm like, I don't know what to call it. And so me and him were kicking names around. I'm throwing them by Robyn. And she's like, nah. And we're doing this across Twitter. So finally, I tweet him like, man, they need to have something with arcade in it. And then I'm just like, what about Ourcade, like O-U-R, like arcade? And I was just like kind of like half joking, half serious. And I didn't think nobody was going to like it. And then Robyn's like, that's kind of dope.
It
And then he's
is.
like, yeah, for real, that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
So he tweets it out. So like his followers like, yo, what y'all think of his name for my gaming site? And mad people were like, yo, that's fire. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, well, we got it. Excuse me. So there it was. So once we had the name, I went ahead that same day. I started the WordPress. We picked our little theme or whatever. And then we made our first post, which was the gamer resume. So I dropped mine, and that was the start of the site. And we just went from there. The rest is history, as they say.
I think the gamer resume is super dope. Tell us about yours.
Mine, I can't remember everything in it off top, but the way we kind of do it, from what I can recall right now, there's a bunch of different things in there. You know, we state how long we've been playing, what our favorite systems are, like what our strengths are as the gamer as far as like genres, what we're good at, what we're not so good at. I have a code check in there where you state all the codes, you know, like off top of your head, which is fun for me.
ABACABB.
What code? Yeah, that's actually in my resume. That's one of mine. What else is in there? We list like some general traits of how we game as far as like, I think mine says something like, I'm more of a support player. I'm never like the leader and nothing, but I'm like a good backup dude as far as like any co-op type of games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So it's really just a profile of like, what could someone who's never played with you expect if they play something with you, and then you combine that with, you know, what's your gamer knowledge and what have you accomplished. Oh, that's another thing. We talk about the hardest thing or like our proudest moment as a gamer or whatever. Like what was the, I guess, hardest thing we ever did or something that we were extremely proud of. And I think it's a fun way to just introduce other gamers to like your accomplishments and what you've done, you know, over the years of gaming.
It's dope. When did it transition to the podcast?
Well, funnily enough, I actually had a podcast before years ago, maybe like 2011.
Really?
But yeah, it's actually still on the internet. But it was me and a few other people from the IC, and I'm surprised you don't remember it, or maybe you didn't listen to it. But it was like 5 of us, and we used to do it once a week.
Was it a
And
blog
then we
talk?
just stopped for some reason. Yeah, it was.
What was the name of it? Because I think I do.
I don't remember what we called it. I promise I don't. I'll find out and get back to you. But one day, somebody from the podcast actually linked me back to it, and it's all still there. So I'll get you the link for that. We had like 10 episodes up or something.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'd done it before, but when we started Ourcade Games, I knew it was something I wanted to do again because, like, I just like to talk about video games, and, you know, I figured it was the easiest way to do it without having to worry about, you know, people having something to say about my opinion or whatever, at least while I'm giving it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're on Twitter or something, you say how you feel about something, and everybody's immediately going to jump down your throat without even really thinking about what you had to say.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just messes up the conversation.
Yeah.
On a podcast, you can't respond to me immediately. You got to sit there and hear the entirety of what I have to say. Then you have to find me. Then you have to, like, by the time you do all that, you might have settled down and actually digested what I said and be like, you know what, all right, like, I might not agree, but, you know, I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, on Twitter, you don't get to that realization because you halfway through what I said and you already typing back your furious reply. So it gets combative.
In general, that sort of thing, does that bother you? Like if how you said they angrily type away their reply or not listen to what you said or immediately ready to jump down your
It bothers
throat?
me.
Huh?
Everybody knows it bothers me. That's why people don't like me. But I mean, it bothers me because I'm big on, I guess, I take the time to think about what I'm about to say. And I know exactly what I'm trying to say. So the thing that bothers me most is when you take what I said and tell me I'm trying to say something I'm not. And it's like, I'm telling you that's not what I'm saying, but you won't listen to me. You just want to believe that's what I'm saying so you could argue and fight with me, or you could make me look bad or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we accomplishing? We could be discussing whatever it is and actually learn from each other, but instead you want to twist what I'm saying to try to make everybody laugh at me or, point and snicker or whatever and get your point. And it's just, I don't get it. Especially with video games, like, it's a weird thing to try to fight about.
Do
it's a game.
Do you find that to generally be the case? Like, do you enjoy your Twitter experience?
Do I enjoy what?
Your Twitter experience.
These days, I don't want to say no, because then it's like, well, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoy parts of Twitter. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, there's some extremely dope stuff happening on Twitter. Like we're not even gonna talk about important stuff that's dope. Like, these movements that are popping up and stuff like that. We'll just keep it on a simple level. But like, there have been people who have read stuff I wrote and just actually were like, yo, I needed to read that. Or I've had really dope conversations with certain people who may have, not really liked what I had to say at first, but they took the time to see where I was coming from. And by the end of the conversation, we both had a whole new understanding of each other. So it's like, there's some good stuff about it, but I think the need to shine kind of makes it worse than it could be for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are just on Twitter to kind of feed into like a superiority complex, or to just, like, make people look bad for their entertainment.
Yeah.
Or just constantly rile up people so they could be like, look what I did. It's like, I'm not here for that. And then, when I state that I'm not here for that, then there's all this blowback, and I'm like, I don't know why I bother. I don't know what to do. It's like a lose.
I mean, I really want you to enjoy it, because I think I was the one that brought you to Twitter, and I feel bad if you.
Were you?
I think I was.
Wouldn't doubt it.
I think it was me. I think it was me that told you.
This is the funny thing about Twitter. When I first came on Twitter, I think it was 2010.
Yeah,
January.
It was. So, it was me that brought you. I remember telling you about it on Facebook. So
when I first came, I didn't know how. Well, none of us knew how it worked back then. It was still new. But all I really used to do was talk about sports and just flirt with any chick that followed me. Like, that's all I used to do. And everybody loved me. Like, nobody had a problem with me. Oh, Jersey's so nice. He's so sweet. He's so kind, blah, blah, blah. Which, these aren't lies, but, whatever. And then the minute I started to actually speak my mind about things, it's like everybody flipped on me. Like, why is this dude always mad? Why is he so grouchy? Why does he have a problem with everything? And it's like, I definitely understand. Excuse me. I definitely understand how somebody could be annoyed by me or anybody who may be like me. I'm not sitting here acting like I don't get it fully. What I don't get is why it's only me or it's only certain people. Because I see plenty of other people, express displeasure with the same things I do, but it's only when I do it that all of a sudden it becomes this thing. It's annoying, or it's, oh God, he's doing it again, or it's, oh, what's wrong with this dude? And then it's the catch-22, because, okay, I'm saying what I'm saying or whatever, people have a problem with it. Then if I try to defend myself, it just feeds into that stereotype even more. Like, see, he complaining again. See, he bitching again. Da-da-da-da. But if I don't say nothing, then I'm allowing everybody else to write my story and tell everybody what I am. Right. So it's like, what do you do? And it's fun. Like, I mean, look at you. You go on rants all the time. All the time. Nobody cares.
I wouldn't say it's all the time.
I don't want to make it like it's
No,
twice
I
a
got
day,
you.
but I mean, you have your moments
I know
where
I'm messing
something
with you.
bothers you and you going to get it off. And like, nobody makes it a big deal or makes it like something's wrong with you because you have a problem with something.
Well, maybe they
And
do. I
I
just
guess
don't
it's just
check
a
for it.
perception thing. Huh?
I said maybe they do. I just don't check for it. Like it's rare that I actually read my timeline. Like I just go on and tweet or click
I'm
on
going to tell
mention.
you a secret. I pay attention to everything on Twitter, like everything. Like I remember everything, especially everything said about me. Like I don't forget it.
Uh-huh.
So we got a lot of mutual followers. If people had a problem with you ran, it would be said and seen by me because I just see these things.
Uh-huh.
So like, trust me, like it's the most people are saying, "Oh shit, he ran again," and that's that. It's never like, "Oh God, oh I'm sick of this dude." All right, like to wrap this little section up, I'll tell you something real quick.
Uh-huh.
There was a point in time, right, where this person that was following me would every time I would have a problem with something and start tweeting about it, I would see her subtweet. Like every time. And like the first two times I'm like, it looked like she subbing me, but you know, I don't know, so it ain't no reason to be mad. But after the fourth, fifth, and sixth time, I'm like, I'm not stupid. So I figured it out. So one day I got annoyed, so I'm just like, yo, if you follow me and you got a problem with my tweets, just unfollow me. And she's immediately like, bet, and unfollows me. Now, let me ask you, as a rational person, is that not weird to you? That I basically had to ask someone to unfollow me that clearly had a problem with my tweet? Like, why didn't you do it before I dared you to do it?
You know what?
I
I think some people just you have people that look for stuff to complain about. And look for things to look for turmoil, and then it's like when you bring it to their attention and call them on it, then pride kind of jumps in the way, and so
Yeah,
now
now it's like, now I can't follow you because you basically chumped me.
right, but
But
then
I'm like, but I'm like, these are the things I noticed that the people who love to like talk trash about me don't notice. It's like, while you busy calling me the weirdo and telling everybody that I'm messing up the timeline or I'm the one that's, you know, being a Debbie Downer or Eeyore or all this dumb stuff people say, you got people that's basically just following behind me, waiting for me to say something now, like, and ignoring all the stuff I say in between my, you know, I don't like this moments or whatever. Like, it's not like I never have positive tweets or I'm never talking about stuff I like, but it's just what you choose to notice. Like, when I tweet about my kids, nobody responds. I tweet about video games, nobody responds unless they want to argue about it. You know, I tweet about Robyn, a couple of people have something to say, but most people, like, whatever. But as soon as I have a problem with something, here comes everybody. And it's like, I don't understand. Like, I'll go weeks without having a problem with something, and the first time I do, oh, he on his bullshit again. I'm like, what, again? Like, I've been mad about nothing forever. So it's like, I just had to chalk it up to, it's to the point where that's just who I am to a lot of people, and nothing's going to change it. Or the only thing that could change it is time, I guess. Like, there's nothing I can really do. I used to try to fight it all the time, like, and I just dig myself a bigger hole.
it's
So
I think it's one of these things. I think it's a matter of like you know how everybody wants to be, and I'm not talking about just Twitter, just general. You know, everybody wants to be a part, want to be in on the joke, or have their piece
mhm.
with the joke. I think it's a matter of all right, maybe at one point in time this was a joke, and now the joke is over with. It's long been over with. But you still have those people that either are not conscious of that, or it's an easy joke to kind of get back started.
Yeah.
So they probably use that, and then oh, here it is again. As a means of gaining attention for themselves. I think it's actually more of their own narcissism than it is have anything to do with you, because you're right. You might be gone for a while, and then all the positive things you say. They never see anything like that, but I kind of I think that's what it is. My question though is for you is one, you say how you see all these things and it you would see it. Are you looking for it?
Looking for what? I'm sorry, they announced my flight, but
No, I got you. I got you. No, I'm saying in terms of just like the negative or things that people might say. Are you looking for that?
well, I don't say I'm looking for it, but at the same time, like I said, I notice everything. So it's like even if I'm not looking for it, it's thrown in my face. Like a lot of these people will just at me and just let me know they really don't rock with what I'm talking about. It's not like they do it away from where I can see it. And because I tweet from a list and the list is not that many people on it, like I don't really miss anything.
Ah,
I
okay,
mean,
I
these
get it.
days I
I get
might
it.
because I'm not on as much, but back when this was like a major problem for me, I was on Twitter like all day, every day, just tweeting from this list of like 150 people, 200 people, whatever. So it's like I'm not really gonna miss nothing.
So
Like either I'm getting added in it or there's a jurors in the tweet somewhere that I'm just gonna see. So it's like
So so
whatever.
so okay, all right. So take the moment and then set the record straight. Cause I know you. I know you for a long time. I know that you're not angry. You know what I mean. I know that you're not quote unquote depressed. What do you want people to know about you?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the worst part, really, because I'm like, that's what bothered me more than anything. Because it's like, it's plenty of people who personally know me on Twitter that know I'm not this person I've been made out to be. But it's like, they either don't see a need to set the record straight or they're believing what everybody else is saying about me despite having personal interaction with me and knowing that's not the case. And I mean, it's not nobody, like I can't expect nobody to be fighting on my behalf, but it's just like, like nobody could step up like, yo, he's not even that dude. And I mean, like Robyn tries, but I won't let her because that's just gonna make everything worse. Like as soon as she starts lashing out at people for bothering me, that just gives people more of a reason to mess with me.
Yeah.
So I always tell her, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. But she be ready. Like, she be ready for real. But like I'm just like nah, because now they really gonna mess with me because they know it's bothering you too.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, I could piss them both off. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll just try to do better at not letting it get under my skin, so we both could be chilling.
Have
But I
you?
mean, if there's one thing, and I guess I gotta go soon, but I guess we could finish when I get off the plane if you want. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess if there's one thing I would want people to know, it's like I'm generally a pleasant person. Like I don't know, I'm always laughing. I'm all giggly and bubbly. Like I'm a jokester. I'm a people person. I'm mad friendly. I'm always singing and shit. Like I'm nothing like this Twitter persona that's been thrust upon me. And like for people who were super cool with me, when I first came on Twitter, to suddenly think I'm like this evil demon that hates everything and everyone, I'm just like, what happened?
Right.
Like it's confusing more than anything. Like I don't.
I got you. Cool. How much time you got before you have to get on the plane?
I think I got a few minutes.
Okay. Cool. 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 Well, you just let me know.
All right.
I'm gonna transition to the next thing. Let's talk about you being a father, fatherhood, and how you're
Yep.
enjoying that. Do you remember the moment when you found out you were going to be a father?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Uh, well, the funny thing is, like, I probably should have been a dad way before I was one. Because, like, me and my baby mom, we wasn't really doing nothing to prevent it from happening. It just wouldn't happen.
Right.
And then, like, because it had been so long with, like, not using no prevention and it didn't happen, I just started thinking it couldn't happen. And, like, one day we were talking about it, like, man, like, you should have probably been pregnant, da da da, ha 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 ha. And maybe less than a week later, bingo bango,
There it
I'm
is.
like, Jesus. Yep.
So
It was wild. I'm like, yo, crazy.
how did you feel?
I was excited. I mean, I always wanted two kids. I always wanted a boy and a girl. So, like, when I found out, my first thought was just like, I hope it's my boy because, I always wanted my son to be older, play like bodyguard for my daughter.
Yeah.
It ain't turned out that way, but that was really my first thought was just like, I hope it's a boy. Like, it wasn't nothing like, oh my God, what we going to do? Or, oh no. Like, I was geeked.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. What are some of the traits that you notice in them now, that you know are gonna be something big later? Like some cool things you see them do, like, oh, you know what? I can tell that such and such is gonna be blah 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 or do this, whatever.
Um, well, with Harmony is like she's an entertainer. Like, she likes to do anything that, she's a performer, I guess is a better word, or it's kind of the same. But, like, she likes all performance stuff. Like, she's in a drama club at school. She's done plays in school and stuff. Like, last time I was home, she was, like, singing. We were watching Frozen, and she's singing all the songs, and she let me record her singing. I didn't think she would do it. She's like, okay. I'm like, oh. But, like, she just likes to, like, that type of stuff. Like, she's going to be that person. Like, I want to sing, I want to dance. Like, she wants to be a cheerleader and join, like, the dance team. So she's like that, I guess, I don't want to say prototypical little girl, but, like, she likes to do little girl stuff. Like, she likes sports and stuff, too, but just for recreation. It's not nothing she want to do unless everybody else doing it.
Yeah.
But, like, acting and singing and dancing and that type of stuff, she's, like, with it. And then Junior, the one thing I noticed about him thus far is, like, he's super competitive. Like, he hates losing, which is me all day. Like,
yeah.
you know that.
Yeah.
So, like, he can't stand it. Like, but I think it'll serve him well later in life when he starts doing competitive things. You know what I mean? Right now, it's just, well, I'm playing this game on my Wii and I'm losing and I'm not with it. You know what I mean? But once he started getting into, like, competitive sports and stuff, I think, the fact that he hates losing will make him, like, put in the work to not lose.
Oh, it's gonna drive him.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's my hope anyway. I hope it don't become a thing like, oh, I'm losing, I'm a quit. You know what I mean? I hope it's more like, I'm losing, I ain't trying to lose no more. Let's put this work in.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like that, but that's what I notice right now. Besides that, it's just typical sibling rivalry stuff. Junior's the typical youngest kid, thinks it's all about him, he's spoiled. Harmony's the typical older sibling, leave me alone, I just want to do my own thing, get out of here.
Yeah.
Typical American kid crap.
What's the one thing that they do that really, like, steals your heart? Like, no matter what it is.
You know what's funny about Harmony? When Harmony was real young, I say like 2. She used to sit on my lap, and I used to just, like, punch her in the cheek, like, real soft, like in slow motion. Like, it'll be like a slow motion punch coming, and she'll just sit there and let me do it, and then we'll laugh about it. And then when she got a little older, she started doing it to me. So, like, when she would punch me, I'd make, like, this exaggerated, oh, God, you just knocked my head off my shoulders kind of motion, and we'll laugh about it. And to this day, with her being 10, she still does it. Like, out of nowhere, I'll just see the slow motion punch, like, gotta get punched. And she still thinks it's funny. Like, she's so goofy. I'm like, why is this still funny? And then...
That's cool.
And, like, Junior... with Junior, I guess with it being like a dude and his son, I guess anytime he's, like, slightly affectionate is dope to me because it's like, you know how guys are, like, yeah, that bushy crap.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so, like, so if he, like, want to hug me or anything like that, or he say he love me or something, I just lose it. Like, I still love you. So it's more emotional with him, and it's more just with Harmony. It's more just little inside stuff we share.
Yeah,
That like nobody else really got with her.
that's dope. That's
Me
what
and Junior need some inside stuff. I gotta get working on that.
you got time,
Maybe a
man.
secret handshake or something.
Yeah, yeah. You know what y'all think might y'all it's probably gonna happen when you guys are playing the game or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's our thing really now. Like, Harmony kind of grew. She was a gamer, then she grew out of it. She still plays, she dabbles, but like, it's not really her thing. But him, he's like all in. So, like, I'm waiting for him to get a little older, and then we can have the same system and like play together.
Yeah.
But right now, he's more into just watching me play. Like when I'm playing the stuff I like to play, he kind of don't be wanting to play it, but he want to watch me. And he'll like comment and do this and what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when he plays the Wii or whatever, he wants me to play. So I play all his games with him and teach him how to like be better at them and stuff.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I got you. That's what's up. What's the hardest loss you've ever had to deal with? And how did you
The
deal
hardest
with it?
what? Oh, the hardest loss.
Yeah.
I'll answer this, then I probably gotta go. I'm walking up here now.
Okay.
But if I had to think of what the hardest loss is for me, it's probably my grandparents. Like on my on my dad's side, like they died when I was real young, and like I used to spend every weekend with them. Like I would go over to my grandma's house and we watch like Miami Vice and all those old shows, and she let me drink Tang and shit. And it's just super dope. And excuse me, like my grandma would give me my grandfather gave me like all these dope nicknames and stuff, and would like let me run in the house, and he'd like tackle me and we play football. And then just like that, they were gone, and I didn't get it. I'm just like, where they at?
Wow.
And my mom couldn't really explain it, and it just sucked.
Wait, did you lose both of them at the same time?
My grandma went a month later. My dad went a month later. My grandfather went.
Wow.
So just like that, everybody I know on my dad's side was gone. 3 months, man.
Wow. Wow. I'm sorry, man. How did you cope?
I have no idea. I don't know. I just had to keep it pushing. Like, what can you really do?
Are you still coping, or are you beyond it now? Like you never leave. They never leave you, but
yeah. But I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say yeah, I probably am.
Okay.
Cause I just feel cheated sometimes. Like, why? Like, I think things would be different if they were around. Like for me, for my mom, for a bunch of people.
How so?
So in that way, yeah.
How so?
Well, they were very helpful to my mom, like when I was young, as far as just. That's not my zone yet. As far as just like helping take care of me and my brother, because my third brother, my second brother, actually, I got two brothers, but he wasn't born yet. He came after they passed, but like just taking us off her hands so she could like have some free time and not go crazy trying to raise two boys by herself, because like my dad wasn't there. So like with that, and just helping instill like the right values in us, and just being somebody we can have fun with, and just like how grandmothers are, man. Like,
yeah,
they hold everything together. So without that, it was just really my mom. And try as she may, it's hard to raise 3 kids by yourself when you always at work.
Yeah.
So what that basically did to me was make me have to be daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you stood into that. Wow. I had no idea, man, that all that happened to you seemingly back to back to back.
Yep.
Wow.
Like it was crazy, but I mean, it's nobody's fault, so no
Yeah.
need to feel away about it. I mean, you could feel away, but not like you know,
Yeah.
it wasn't nothing like somebody killed them or nothing crazy like that, to where I could really feel like vengeance or something. It was their time. The funny thing is, like, it wasn't until I got on the plane I realized, like, you know what, like, there's another one I probably should have said because it had a bigger impact on me.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, and it's really gonna sound weird when I explain it, but I try to make you understand.
Okay.
But when I was like 15, there was this girl named Markeisha that she lived in my apartment complex. It was like my friend's sister. She was like a little older than us or whatever. And like I never really became cool with her or whatever. But like, because as my friend's sister, she was like cordial to me or whatever. So like I'll never forget this. One day somebody had a house party and like she was sitting on a countertop in the house. I don't know why I remember this. And like I was walking by her and she just like stopped me and started talking to me for like 10 minutes. Like nothing serious, just like, hey, how you doing? Having fun, blah blah, that type of stuff. That was like on a Saturday. So that Monday, we was getting ready to go to school. I would always go to my boy house and like, his parents would let me in and like I'd just go in, wait for him to, get his lunch or whatever. Then we'd go to the bus stop because in Philly, I lived in Philly at the time. We had to catch like public transportation to school. Like they have like yellow school buses. We just hopped on something. So I go in the crib, to get him or whatever, and then we go in the sister room, I guess, to get her. And when we walked in, she like laying in the bed, and we like, we got school, whatever. So he go to wake her up, and like she don't move. And then he like pulled back the blanket, and she was like covered in vomit.
Wow.
So like we didn't know what was going on, so we freaked out. We panicked, go get his parents. They come, they freak out, they call 911 of course, but it was too late. So like we understand, what happened or like how it went down. Like we didn't get it. So it turns out that apparently she was pregnant, and, like nobody knew. So I don't know if she was trying to like take medicine or that had to do with like like prenatal pills or something, or if she was trying to take like prescription pills or something. Like we don't know, but she apparently took time before she went to sleep, and she threw up in her sleep, choked her.
Oh man.
And like the reason why I say it was like one of my biggest losses. It sounds funny because like I didn't even really know her like that, but to me it just showed me that like just like that it can be gone. You know what I mean? Like I just talked to her
Yep.
2 days before that. She was perfectly fine, like at a party, chilling, having fun, loving life. Days later, it's a wrap. And like I always thought about that. Like for some reason, it always stuck with me. Like I wrote about it over the course of my life, like a bunch of times. Like, and it's like it's weird because I'm like I ain't really know her. Like, why am I writing about this girl that like I knew through her brother? But for some reason, it's like it mattered to me. Like it's just a cautionary tale in the sense like you can't never forget that nothing's promised to you. Meaning like I can't just assume I'm always be here and I'm always have time to do whatever it is I want to do. So
I
I
can
figured,
I I can definitely relate to that. That's real heavy. When I was first diagnosed with congestive heart failure, like my life kind of just like for the next couple of days, I was just kind of sitting there like, wow, like it kind of like forced me to see my own mortality because I never envisioned a world without me in it. Now I knew that at some point, I'm a pass on, but as far as my mind was concerned, I couldn't see beyond that. I couldn't see to that point. And so with that,
Yeah.
it was like, wow, you know what? I could really be gone like tomorrow, and it was kind of, it was depressing to a degree because it's like I felt like I suddenly didn't have a hold on anything. But I can completely understand how how that situation just caused you to kind of, how you reflect on it and how it could affect you like that, because it's certain things that remind us of our own mortality.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't see how people aren't scared of that. Like, when people are like, well, I'm not scared of that, I'm like, how? And I mean, I try not to be judgmental about it. Everybody, have their own thoughts about things or their own way of seeing situations. But to me, I don't like the thought of not being here.
Me either. I
And
think.
that's to tie back to, sorry I had to cut you off, but like,
Uh-huh.
to tie back to something we talked about earlier, that's like one of the things that bothered me about, the way I've been perceived, pertaining to the Twitter thing, when people would say stuff like, oh, he depressed or he's suicidal. And to me, it was wild disrespectful because I'm like, it's nothing that scares me more than not being here. So, like, to insinuate that I don't want to be here is like a slap in the face. Like, dude, I'm definitely afraid of that. What are you talking about?
Right. I think I just tend to think maybe it's just those individuals that just haven't, haven't in some form or fashion just been forced to see their own mortality. Is
Yeah,
kind of what I think
that
it
that
is.
makes sense. Dude.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
because
maybe they haven't been forced to really come to terms with it yet.
right, because like before this situation with me, it was I didn't I don't think that I had a fear of death. Like if somebody pointed a gun in my face, I think I'd be scared shitless. But I think I had a respect for death. I respected it, and I knew that it was a part of life. But I didn't really I didn't really see myself in that picture until I was forced to see myself in that picture. I think a lot of people
Yeah,
have respect for death. I just don't think I think if they don't have a healthy fear of it, and I could be wrong, but and I'm pretty sure there are other reasons for other people. But I think just generally
nah, I
people,
mean, there's no way for us to know exactly what they're thinking, but I feel like this theory makes sense to me. So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm around with it. Until one of those people give me a better explanation, I would just choose to think that because it makes sense.
yeah.
Funny story though, you just mentioned how you'd be like scared if a gun was in your face. That's actually happened to me 3 times.
Really, three
Yeah,
times? What happened, man?
3. Uh, well, the first time, I actually told this story on IC once, and nobody believed me. But I promise you, it's true.
Uh huh.
But the first time was when I was like a teenager. There was this chick I was talking to, and I used to go over her crib like late night and just kick it. Like we didn't do nothing, we would just chill. So my boy lived there. So one day my mom was dropping my friend off, and I called her like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get her," and she was like, "Come too." I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't even planning on going over there at night." So I told my mom to drop me off there. Like I didn't say it was a chick house. I'm just like drop me off at my other friend's house, whatever. So she sneaked me in like usual. We watching football, watching Miami at that. So we fell asleep in her room watching football. Mind you, I got all my clothes on, I got my hoodie on, my shoes on, everything on, so you could clearly see nothing was happening if you walked in the room.
Uh huh.
Now, usually when I would sneak over there, she would lock the door because like her dad was a cop and he worked like the graveyard shift. He would come home like 6 in the morning. So when he would come home, he would like knock on her door and I guess check on her or whatever. I don't know. But she would just crack the door and talk to him, and I'll just be somewhere in a room where he couldn't see me. So because we ain't locked the door this time, I'm skipping the part. I'm sorry. What happened was when I woke up and realized, I had fell asleep, she tried to sneak me out. When she was sneaking me out, her mom or stepmom had caught me. So she just was like, just go home. Like, she was cool about it. But when I was about to walk out the front door, Shorty told me, go back upstairs in my room.
Uh-huh.
Me being a dummy, I went back upstairs instead of just leaving like I should have. So then you fast forward to the part where her dad come home. I guess the stepmom had told the dad that she had a dude in the house. So instead of knocking on the door like he usually do, he should kick that joint in. I don't think he expected me to still be there. I think he was coming in there to like get with her or whatever.
Yeah.
So he seen me there, and he just lost his mind. So stepmom come in the hallway like, what happened? Did she see me? Like, you still here? And dude, like at this point, I'm like off the bed, but he between me and the way out the room. So it's nothing I can do. So dude punched me dead in my mouth. Boom. I'm like, oh, mind you, I got a white hoodie on, so there's blood all over this shit at this point.
Wow.
I'm thinking like, yo, should I fight back? Or will that make him matter? So I just chose not to fight back. So he hit me one more time, like in my chest or something, like I kind of turtled up. Then that was the 2 times he hit me. So then he was like, go downstairs, like to me. So I went downstairs, and again, I should have just left, but I was so scared, I just went downstairs, like you said, like I don't know what's about to happen.
You went downstairs and
So next thing I
sat
know,
in the chair?
and I was just standing downstairs, like waiting to die.
Wow.
So then he, I don't know if he punched his brother or he smacked her, one or the other. That's when I knew he was psycho. Like, yo, put hands on his brother. Get her in the eye.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh God, I'm finished out here. So he's yelling at her upstairs, and then he come downstairs. So he come downstairs, he pull out this like little case, opens the case, pulls a gun out of it. And I promise you, this next part is not a lie. He pulled out a bullet, and it literally had his daughter's name in it. Like, you know how people say that?
Uh-huh.
They be like, like he really had one. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know that was really like a thing.
How did you see?
But
How did you see the name on the bullet?
Because he showed it to me. Like when he pulled out the gun, he was talking to me. Like it was like a movie, dog. Like he was saying something. I don't know what he was saying because I'm blacked out at this point. But he put it in my face. He was like, "You see this?" And I looked at it, and I'm like, "Yo, that's crazy." Like I ain't say that, but my mind. So he puts it in the gun. And then he puts it on my forehead, and I'm just standing there, like at this point, I'm just like, it's a done deal. My mom not gonna know what happened to me. This is crazy. My brother ain't got no big brother, whatever. So he left it there for like, I don't know, it felt like 8 years, but it probably was like 10 seconds, I guess. So then he puts it down, and he's like, where you live? And I'm thinking like, should I really tell him where I live? Like, he might kill everybody.
Right.
But I'm like, if he's going to kill me, he can kill me. Like, that's the way I felt. So I'm like, I live in Chateau. That was the apartment I lived in, Chateau apartment. So I'm like, I live in Chateau. And he's like, get in the car. So he grabs his daughter. He put us both in the car. He take me home. Mind you, it's like 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning or something like that. So we get to my house. I let them in or whatever. I wake my mom up. She come out there. He talked to her like, I found your son at my house. I think we should sit down and talk about it. My mom like, okay, like when? This was like I'm guessing a Sunday. Football was on Monday, probably Monday. He like to talk about it Friday. My mom like, all right. Mind you, like I said, it's like 4 in the morning. So she don't notice the blood on my like hoodie or nothing like that because she all grubby.
Mm-hmm.
So they leave the crib, and then when she let them out and come back up, that's when she see my hoodie, like, yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, punch me in my mouth and put a gun on me. And she was like, what did you do? I'm like, I was just asleep in the garden room. I didn't do nothing. And she was like, I don't want to talk to him. I'm like, okay, then don't talk to him.
Right.
Like, the meeting never happened or whatever. But the craziest part is, like, 3 weeks later, he hit my mom's car at the Wawa. Like, just chance meeting.
Wow.
And then he remembered her, but he still didn't never come by for the meeting or whatever. And I'll never forget, he told me when we was driving to my house that if he ever saw me again, he couldn't. And like every couple of years, that girl would hit me up, and I'd be like, leave me alone, dog. I don't want to be your friend. I can't be your homie. Your dad looking for me. Like, I truly believe that. She'd be like, man, I don't even talk to my dad no more. I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I got a signifying mark under my eye. Nah, you might remember me. But the second time was I was driving home from the park. I had a car full of people because we had just played basketball, and ain't nobody want to walk home from the park. So I'm like, whoever can fit in the car, I'll give a ride home. We all live around the same area. So they crammed in the car. It's like 2 in the front, 4 in the back, lapped up, whatever. So I'm driving down the street, and there was a cop on the side of the road writing tickets. He was like a motorcycle cop. So he was on the sidewalk writing a ticket for a car. He see us driving down the street. He runs out into the middle of the street, jumps in my path, and points his gun at me.
What?
And I was so scared I almost hit him because I almost hit the gas instead of the brake because I panicked.
Wow.
And then he walks up to the car and he's like, you almost killed me. I said, you jumped in front of the car.
You almost killed me.
Basically, he's like, where are you going? I'm like, home. Why are you driving so fast? I'm like, I'm driving to speed. Why are so many people in the car? Like, they ain't want to walk. He's like, man, be careful. And he just let me go. Now, mind you, this was in like 2000. Let that had been like 2015, I probably wouldn't be here.
Right.
And the third time, it was the cops again. It was when I was staying with my mom a few years ago. There was a jewelry store robbery. And I guess one of my brother's friends was a suspect. Mind you, we didn't know nothing about this at the time. We found all this out after the fact. So I guess the same day it happened, he came to our house and he was just there kicking it like ain't nothing happened. I guess somebody told the cops because they went to his house looking for him. And I guess either somebody at his house or somebody on our block was like, yo, he over their house. So SWAT came to my house. It was like 7 cops. They knock on the door. Our computer was right by the front door. I was on the computer. I had my kids with me. Mm-hmm. And I get up to open the door, and the kids walk with me. You know how little kids are. They go where you go.
Yeah.
So I see his cops, but I don't see the guns because we got a little narrow window on the front door. So I open the door, and before I could get it all the way open, they, like, push it the rest of the way open. They come in, freeze everybody on the ground. You know how it be.
Yeah.
So the first cop had a shotgun. And he like pointed it right in my face. So I immediately dropped to the ground. But my kids don't. They don't really understand what's going on. So I was holding my daughter's hand. So I like yanked her down to the floor. But I ain't had my son's hand. So he was just standing there like looking at the cops like, what's happening? And one of them put a gun in his face.
Oh, come on.
He was like 3 at the time. And started yelling at him. And, like, I grabbed him, and I put him next to me. And then he started crying. And he, like, I don't even think it was a gun that scared. I think it was the yelling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, that was the last time. But, and, like, my mom felt so bad because, like, you know, my baby mom cussed her out about that like it was her fault. And I'm like, man, like, that had nothing to do with that. It became a big deal. But, yeah, so, you know, I've had a lot of guns in my face.
Wow.
Living a second life, I guess.
With two of those instances being law enforcement, and then a lot of the things that's happening, you know, the last couple of years here.
Actually, 3 of them were law enforcement, technically.
The dude, the chick's girl was the chick's pops was a cop.
Yeah, her dad was a cop.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with all 3 of them being law enforcement,
3 times cops have put guns in my face.
With all 3 of them being law enforcement, given the things that are going on today in the past couple of years, how do you how do you, what's your idea for teaching your kids, one, to protect themselves, but also, I struggle with, I guess, saying a respect for law enforcement. I guess in a sense, handle being black. Then in that case,
No idea, man. Like I remember last year when the man, so many people died. I don't want to disrespect nobody and get mixed up, but what was the killing that happened last summer that kind of sparked everything?
Trayvon
Mike
Martin,
Brown, right?
Mike, no, yeah, wait. Last summer,
The Ferguson thing. That was Mike Brown,
Mike
right?
Brown, yeah, yeah,
All right. So I remember when that happened, and everybody started kind of like raising up, and kind of like we got to do something. And I remember, I think I wrote about this on my old blog. I might have to go look, but I basically wrote about that. Like I don't know what to say to them. Like I just don't, because there's really nothing you can say that's foolproof.
right,
Like you could go to, I don't know what you want to call it, but you could go the route of always be respectful to cops, and like don't give them a hard time, don't talk. Like you could say all that stuff, basically tell them to be the perfect person, and it still might end bad. But then what's the alternative? What do you say? Like be rude to them? Like
right.
that ain't gonna be no better. I don't really know what the answer is. Like I really don't. Like I talked to them about it kinda, but all they know of cops really is they get rid of the bad people. Like they still have the idealistic view of the police. They just know they don't want to deal with them because if they deal with them, they in trouble of some sort.
Yeah.
But I don't really know where to go with that. So I really don't have an answer. Sorry to say. I wish I did, but I'm sure if I did, somebody else would have had it by now, and they'll be trying to implement it. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you tell when you
But
talk to
it's
them?
scary.
When you talk to them, what do you tell them?
I mean, I try to tell them that, like, all cops aren't good. All people aren't good, really. So it's not a hard concept to grasp. But at the same time, how do you explain to a kid which cops are bad and which ones aren't? It's not like you know by just looking at them.
Yeah.
So it really don't register.
Do they do
And I
they have
mean,
an understanding of what's going on?
uh, honestly, I don't think they fully do. To be honest with you, like, and that's probably my fault. Like, I take blame for that. They kind of live in a little bubble, for better or worse. And I mean, part of it is my fault because I'm not there every day, being that I'm not in Jersey right now. But even when I was there every day, like before I moved away, we still kind of they just exist in their own space. Like, they just know what they know. Like, they know their family, they know school, they know the things they like to do, the things they see on TV. But they kind of shelter, like, honestly. And I don't know if that's the best thing, but it's just the way we go with them thus far. I mean, I try to expose them to things a little bit at a time, what I think they can handle, but I only can do what I do when I'm with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being that they with their mom most of the time, they basically at the whim of however she chooses to deal with them, and she kind of just keep them aside 24/7.
Wow, that's
So I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see, you know, how we choose to deal with things as they get older. Because Harmony's almost 11, and she's reaching that point where she wanna be outside, not outside the house, but like she wants to do stuff away from us. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
So it's like at some point we gotta kind of open her eyes to everything. I just didn't want to do it too soon, and then she'd be like, I don't want to steal her innocence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think that's what I was worried about, and that's why I treat them the way I do. Like, because I felt like I lost mine. Like, I grew up way too fast.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get to be a kid as long as I should have. And I think it kind of made me the way I am now. And as far as like, I have a lot of childlike qualities, I guess.
What do you
Like
mean?
the way I see things and the way I want things to be.
Oh, okay.
It's like the way a kid will want to see the world. And I think that's why people find it so hard to relate to me personally, because it's like when I be saying how I think things should be, the first thing people say is that sounds mad naive or that sounds unrealistic, and I'm like, I'm aware of that as an adult, but in my heart, I feel like that's just how things should be.
You know,
But, you know,
kids have a very pure way of seeing the world and seeing people. Is unfiltered.
yes, and I mean, I'm kind of.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, my bad. Nah, I just took my headset out because I was having trouble hearing. But yeah, like I'm kind of the same way. Like I never lost that. I get what you call it, pure way of seeing things. Like
Yeah.
it never really went away from me. Like I still see things that way, but then it's like people put the glasses on that show me what it really is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And instead of me just accepting things as they are, I just take the glasses off and be like, nah, it should be like this. And I fight people for it all the time. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. It could be the way it should be if everybody just chooses to make it that way.
And I don't think that's. I don't really. I don't
Like,
think
that's
that's
what I...
I don't think that's
Nah, go ahead.
entirely wrong. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Actually.
I mean, I don't either, but a lot of people do, and I think a lot of people see something wrong with it because it's just, we all know in our heart it's never going to happen. Because too many people benefit from things not being right. And that's in every aspect of life. Like, you know, that's Twitter, that's your job, that's, you know, the law, that's, you know, anything you think of that isn't the way it should be, is because somebody's benefiting from it not being the way it should be. And they're going to do everything they can to keep it wrong because it's right for them.
Right.
So, like, once I realized that, I started realizing why I get so much resistance when I'm saying, why can't stuff just be like this? Like, I get it, because I'm talking to the people who benefit from it being messed up.
that's
Like,
crazy, but that's true. That is so true.
I mean, think about it. Like, all right, just to go back, like, I hate to keep talking about Twitter, but,
No,
you
that's
know,
cool.
I'm passionate about this stuff. But, like, if you think about it, say if I say something like, yo, how come when I say something, everybody get mad, but if a person with 10,000 followers say something, nobody say nothing? Who the first people to come out and be like, shut up, blah, blah, blah? The people with all the followers.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you speaking out against the stuff that they benefit from. Nobody who has 400 followers is going to be mad at me for saying that, because it don't benefit them for it to be that way. But if you got all these followers and you basically can say whatever you want, you know, get no blowback, of course you ain't going to want me saying that. I'm like, you know, attacking the status quo.
Yeah.
And once I, you know, think about it like that, it's like, I get it. I get why y'all so mad. I get why I'm a problem. Because I'm speaking out against all the stuff you benefit from. It's really that simple. Because there be people who agree with the thoughts I have on Twitter or the stuff I say, but it's always people who don't have that voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's never somebody everybody listens to. It's always somebody that, like, some people might listen to them, but they not the people who, excuse me, they followers hang on every word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I had to learn about Twitter and about life in general. Like, you always gonna have opposition when you try and do right. You just are.
Always.
Like, it's not like I'm on Twitter saying, why y'all don't let people make their rape jokes and those stupid stuff like that. Like, I'm not the person on here advocating idiocy and advocating people being mean to each other and advocating, you know, people being crass and putting people's personal business out there. But the people who do that, nobody bothers them. Like, nobody gets mad at them to say they need to go away or say something wrong with them. But little old me, who just wants everything to be fair and just, which I don't think is a bad thing, but, like, I get everybody ass because it's crazy.
In general, like not even just Twitter, but generally, do you view yourself as like the underdog?
Uh, I wouldn't say the underdog. I view myself as a piece of shit, dog. Like, that's the God's honest truth. It sounds funny,
No, that's dope. I like that.
I've always fought for what I believe is right, even at my own detriment. And, like, that don't mean I always do the right thing. I don't want to get over here and act like I don't make mistakes. Like, I would never say that. But most of the time, I'm just trying to do what I think is right. Now, if you could show me that what I think is right is actually wrong, then I'll be like, you fired, you got it. I'm wrong. I shut up. But you're not just going to shame me into not wanting the right thing for the situation I'm in.
So you don't have
Like, why
an
wouldn't
issue.
I fight for that?
So you don't have an issue with criticism.
No, people think I do. Because when I get criticized, I always lash out. But a lot of times it's because the criticism is unfounded, really, or you criticizing something that's not even what I'm, like, trying to say or trying to do. It's just weird. Like people have been able to talk to me and tell me things about myself that I might not necessarily like to hear, and yet and still I didn't just jump off the deep end with them or be disrespectful. I just took it in and was like, all right, like, I appreciate you saying what you had to say without being rude about it. You know what I mean? Like, we just had a conversation, and it didn't get disrespectful or nothing like that. You just gave me a view on what you see. I said what I had to say about it, and then we went on about our business. I could deal with that. It's when people try to make me feel bad for being me. Like, who wants that to happen to them? Like, people act like I'm supposed to be okay with being told, dog, there's something wrong with you. Like, who would be okay with that?
All right.
I don't know. Like, and I mean, some people are okay with it because they can just ignore it, or I guess they don't think much of the person who's saying it to them. So it's like, whatever, like, you ain't nobody, so what you think of me don't matter. But I'm just not that person.
Right.
I think everybody matters.
That to some people, that type of thing is loud to them. They can't help but hear it. People are like, you know what, don't you just ignore it and just everybody can't ignore it.
People tell me that all the time. They like, yo, why do you care? Like, that's people's favorite question to ask me in particular. Why do you care about everything? And you know what I say? Why don't you care?
Exactly.
Like, that's always my rebuttal. Why don't you care? Why don't you care about anything? Why does this not matter to you? And nobody ever really has a dope answer. It's just because it don't matter. It don't matter to you. That don't mean it shouldn't matter to anyone else.
Exactly.
And I know people like, well, you'll drive yourself crazy caring about everything. I'm aware of that. That's why I think I'm the people's shit. because I'm out here fighting the fights that nobody want to fight. And that sounds like some heroic stuff. I don't mean fighting the fights like, on a big scale. But I'm just saying, like, if I see stuff I feel like I could affect on a small scale, because I ain't nobody. So, like, it ain't like I could go out here and end racism or nothing like that. So that's not what I mean when I say I'm fighting the good fight or whatever. But what I'm saying is, if I see, like, all right, like, say we on Twitter, and you say something, right? Like, say if you, like, I think it's messed up that black men on Twitter, don't take up for our sisters or whatever. Say you say that. And somebody come at you sideways about it. And then say it's 5 minutes later, some more popular person pretty much reword what you just said, repackage it, and say it, and then they hop behind them like, yeah, you know what I mean? They switch up their own stance. If I see that, I'm going to point it out like, yo, that's wild. But instead of people seeing that that's messed up and chastising that person, they'll come at me like, why you care? Why you always got a problem with something? And I'm just like, what is happening right now? Like, what?
You know
Like,
what?
how am I wrong for?
I think that's.
Like, it's crazy to me.
I think what that is they don't see the issue with that because what they think is that you're trying to get a piece of their pie. I think that's probably what it is.
I mean, I don't want nobody pie. I don't want nobody following. All I've ever wanted not since I've been on Twitter, because like I said, when I came on Twitter, all I did was flirt with chicks and talk to ISP people. But since I really, really started being a part of Twitter and tweeting regularly and stuff, all I really wanted was a space to say what I feel, just like everybody else gets, or mostly everybody else gets. Because I'm not going to sit here and act like it's only me that people tend to want to, like, calm down or be quiet or whatever. It's not just me. I see it happen to plenty of people. But all I want is to be able to talk my shit. Because all these people who have a problem with me saying how I feel about whatever, I don't never say nothing about how they feel when they talking about whatever they talking about. So why can't I get that same respect? If you don't like what I have to say, or you don't like the way I say it, or my tone, or whatever, then just unfollow me and leave me alone. Like, don't just follow behind me and tell me how horrible I am for your timeline, because I don't have to be there.
Right.
Like, that's the bothersome part. Like, if you just get me off your timeline and talk about me over there where I can't see it, then I ain't got to feel no kind of way about it. But it's the fact that you'd rather...
Does it hurt your feelings?
Yeah. Of course it does. Like, this ain't no secret. I mean, everybody know that. Like, that's another thing people love to say about me. Oh, you so sensitive. Eh? The fuck? Like, I don't understand. Like, what's wrong with having feelings?
It's not, and I'll tell you like I tell my friend Kiera. She's extremely sensitive, and a lot of times, people she'll get upset sometimes because, people they attack her for it, or they when there's something that bothering her, they'll say, "Oh, you just being sensitive," and I always told her, I said, you being sensitive is not a weakness. That's actually your greatest strength because I tell her, you feel things and empathize with things on a level that no one else can. And I'll tell you the same thing. Like I think that's one of your strengths, and people can't relate to that because they don't understand.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's funny because people who rock with me heavy, they be the main ones. Like, nah, that's why you dope, because you care. Like, most people don't care about the stuff you care about.
Right.
Like, that's why Robyn said she like me. I specifically remember her saying that, like, early on. She was like, I think it's dope that you care about the stuff you care about, because most people wouldn't waste a second even thinking about that stuff, let alone saying anything about it or caring about it. But, like, you be dead ass going hard. And you be right.
Shout out to Robyn.
Maybe not every time, but she like most of the time you be dead right.
Yeah.
When you say some of the things you say, people just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So instead of acknowledging you right, they just try to make you not want to say it no more. So they don't gotta deal with the truth.
Yeah.
And I mean, it ain't no different than people who doing it on a higher scale. I mean, even if you look at, like, the stuff that was happening with the whole, like, Black Lives Matter thing or whatever, all that stuff that was going on the past few days, it's the same thing, just on a way more important scale. Like, they don't want to deal with what these people out here showing everybody. So they try to quiet them down. And I mean, like, I wish I had a better analogy so I ain't compare myself to people doing real important things, but, like, it's kind of the same sentiment. Like, well, we can't have this person, letting people know what's up in whatever way, so we going to make them not want to do it no more, or we going to try to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just, I don't know. I had to step away to really realize all this crap.
So you,
Like, I went away for like a week and a half, and then I came back, and I kind of just was like, I'm gonna just let stuff ride now. Like, I'm not really finna be out here just picking fights no more because it's too stressful.
you had to cleanse yourself.
Like, I just gotta let it be. Yeah, like I just had to realize that the amount of help I might have been doing didn't equal up to what I was putting myself through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was really taxing on me, and people don't realize that because Twitter don't affect them. You know what I mean? So to them, it don't affect nobody. But like, it'd be times I'll be on Twitter and something happen, and I get so frustrated, and I just put my phone down, and Robyn would just stare at me like, "What's the problem?" And then I just go through all this crap, like let it all out, and she just be like, "I'm sorry," and she just be like, "I don't know why you continue to try to like, you know, deal with people who clearly don't want to deal with you, or they don't want to deal with your brand of tweeting. Like, they make it apparent all the time, but you keep trying to reach out to these people and deal with them on a personal level." And I'm like, because that's just what I do.
Yeah.
Like, it's just me. I just like people. I want to see the good in me.
So let's
So
talk.
even when some people would, now go ahead.
I was about to say let's talk about Robyn for a second, because that's an awesome stance, and that's awesome that she's supportive of you like that. She's cool. Let's talk about her. How did that happen?
First of all, Robyn sucks. Let's get that clear. Nah, I'm sorry. Nah, you said how that happened, like how, like the relationship,
Yeah.
how we meet in general.
Well, let's all of the above, because obviously it was something major, because you guys made a point to move closer to each other.
The first time we really talked, or like I guess officially spoke, was you were there actually. We were playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and it was me, you, and her. We were all in the lobby, and that was the first time I like ever talked to her or whatever. And so like we played the game or whatever. She's pretty dope. Well, you know that. So then we started playing like every so often. Now she said that I'm sorry about that. She says that she started crushing on me way back then. Like, she wrote a story about this on Ourcade games. But she said back then when we was playing together, she started crushing on me. I ain't have no idea. So once I stopped playing Marvel, you know, we ain't really play nothing else together, but we would talk on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And like, we would flirt, but it was like nothing really. Like, it ain't never get past the timeline. So then for a while, we kind of stopped talking. Like, I don't know why. But so fast forward to, I want to say 2012 probably. And we started talking again or whatever. And this time it kind of like went past the timeline or whatever. So like it progressed to a point where she was just like, "You should come out here or whatever." I'm like, all right. Now mind you, I had just got out of like a long distance relationship. Uh-huh. And I wasn't sure I wanted to try one again. So like I ended up talking to another person, and that didn't really go nowhere. So then I decided to go out there and see her. Now, mind you, she told me later, like after we were together, that she never planned to be in a relationship with me, which is hilarious to me. Because I'm like, you say you was crushing on me way back in like 2010, yet you finally get the chance to meet me or be around me, and you like, oh, I ain't want to be with you. Like, that don't even make sense or whatever.
She wanted to meet. And she got it,
Yeah, right. Like,
and then
so
it changed
whatever.
the world.
But she claimed the plan was just to like me to come out there and we just have some fun and kick it, do what grown folks do. And I guess she's gonna send me on my way or whatever.
Nope.
But didn't go down like that. So
Nah, partner.
like I went out there once in April. I went back another time in June. So then after the June visit, that's when we like decided to give it a shot. So like the original plan was just to try to one way or another see each other like every other month. But then in like June or July, I want to say the end of June or the beginning of July, I lost my job I had. So like I lost my job. I was in a bad spot. And like I was like just talking to her about it one day and she was just like, you should just come out here. And I'm just like, well, my kids, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, well, I'm not trying to like make you leave your kids or whatever. But she was like, you could come out here, maybe get a job, and we could like save up together. And then we could just go back to Jersey together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we talked about it for like a while, and then I decided to do it. And that's what took me to Texas. And, that's where we at. So,
That's awesome.
2 years later, we still here.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you guys. That's cool.
Yeah. We ain't nobody.
So the plan is to go back to Jersey.
Yep. As of now, because, I'll be honest, I never planned to be away from home this long. Like, my kid's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we talked about it, the deciding factor was, well, like, because, she got a son.
Yeah.
So the deciding factor was your son can go where you go, but I can't take my kids with me where I go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just seemed like the fair thing to do is to bring your son up there so I could be with my kids too, and we could all be together.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of what we decided. But when I got here, I didn't get a job right away like I kind of hoped. Things didn't go perfectly according to plan or whatever. And then, like, her dad passed away like a month after I moved here.
Yeah.
Then that kind of changed everything because, her dad used to take care of her grandma. So without him around, she worries about her grandma and if she's going to be okay, stuff like that. So they kind of pushed the timetable back. But, we talked about it a little while ago, and we decided the plan would be for her to move back home this summer, and we'll stay for a year, and then next summer go to Jersey. And, we got to Longview this summer like we planned, so everything's still on track, but you never know. Mm-hmm. I'm just hoping it all worked out the way we wanted to.
Yeah.
And we could get back next summer. But I ain't make no promises to nobody. I don't want to not be able to deliver. Like, I talked to my kids about it, like, when I'm coming home and stuff. But before I left, we kind of talked about it extensively, and they cool with it. Like, all they really told me was don't miss no birthdays, don't miss Christmas. Like, that's the only rule.
Yeah.
They said if you don't miss a birthday, you don't miss Christmas, we ain't got no problems. And, I got to talk to them all the time, which I do. So, I try to talk to them as much as I can, and I still help with homework and all that, and I'm still able to keep up with everything they doing and settle disputes and do all the parent stuff from afar. I mean, it's not the same, of course, and I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not there, but I'm doing the best I can, from where I'm at and trying to make the best of a tricky situation, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
And I mean, I haven't seen their development or anything stunted since I've been gone. Like, this schoolwork hasn't suffered or nothing like that. So I gotta guess that between me and their mom, they, everything's still going the way it should go. So, like, I'm thankful for that. Cause it could be way worse with me not there. Like all kind of messed up stuff could be happening.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I'm pulling for y'all, man. I think you guys are on the same page. You guys both level headed. I know she's super cool. Like as much as it can be. I'm gonna probably get her side of the story on a future podcast or whatever the case. But
We both level headed.
here's what I mean in terms of direction and what you guys want to do and where you guys
I
want to go.
do think we kind of. I mean, not to say we always agree or that this plan was made without any friction, because it definitely was. It was a discussion. I ain't gonna lie, but I feel like at the end of the day, we both want the same thing,
Yeah.
and I think that won out over anything else. It's like, well, we only really see one logical way to have what we ultimately want, and that's to be in Jersey, or at least near Jersey, where I'm not out of reach. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna force her to move to like the same city where they at or whatever. I gotta be able to get there when I want to get there. That's all. So we don't even have to be in Jersey necessarily. Like, as long as we around, so where if I want to go, I could just go.
Exactly.
So, I mean, ideally, if I could get to within an hour of them, I'm satisfied. An hour from where they live could put you in Delaware, PA, damn near New York. So there's options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it'll come down to, like, where she has the best opportunity as far as, like, her career. Yeah. And, I mean, I've heard that, like, Jersey has a lot of opportunities for what she do, so maybe we'll just find like a nice part of Jersey.
It will.
That's not too far from where the kids are. It'll be cool.
I think it's gonna all work out. Before we get you out of here, let's talk about Ourcade Games one more time, because I know she's actually she hosts with you. She's one of the hosts on the show, so that's awesome. Go ahead and plug it one more time, and anything else we might have missed about Ourcade Games, go ahead and tell us about it. Where you can find it and all that good stuff.
Well, I guess the only thing I would want to say about Ourcade Games is, like, let me talk a little bit about, like, why I think it's important or will be important in the future or whatever. Like, my big thing with Ourcade Games, and it's funny because I don't think me or G really thought about this when we started it. We just wanted to talk about video games because we love them. But somewhere around the second anniversary, we was talking, and I was like, you know what? This went from something I wanted to do to something I felt like I needed to do. Mm-hmm. Like, there's really none of us, like, people of color, there's none of us really out here like that when it comes to video game journalism. Like, you can't name one prominent writer for video games that's, like, black. Like, you can't. Or if you can't, well, the only person I know that's black that I even know who they are is, like, the hip-hop gamer dude, and he's a clown.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, but, I mean, be that as it may, he's the only one that I've even ever seen, like, do anything, but he really dropped the ball with it. Like, he could have kicked the door open, but he's just a caricature, or he's like a character at this point. So, like, it's like whatever with him. Like, so I feel like somebody needs to get this started. And it's not that we can't do it. It's just that nobody's tried it. And I feel like me being the people person I am, or me just feeling like everybody needs to be heard, I envision Ourcade Games as, like, it's not about me, or it's not about me and him, really. Like, we started it, yeah, it's our baby, but to me, it's just about a bunch of people, a bunch of us specifically, not saying nobody else could be down with the movement, but in my mind, it's about a bunch of us getting together and showing the world that we can do this too. Like, we go just as hard as everybody else. We got just as much talent, playing and writing. we could give y'all the same information everybody else do, except we could do it from a point of view that never gets shared. And I just feel like that needs to happen. And that's part of the reason I wanted the podcast, because look at all the gaming podcasts out there and who they're run by. Yeah. Nobody like us. So you're not getting our perspective on nothing. Like, you listen to, like, IGN podcasts and they talk about, let's say, Call of Duty. Yeah, they going to have all the information about the game. Excuse me. And they're going to give their opinion and such, but it's not going to be the same as if we talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different. And I feel like that's missing. It's missing in the industry in every way. Like, it's missing in games. It's missing in, you know, the development space. And it's missing in the journalism space. Yeah. I don't know how to develop games, but I damn sure know how to write. So I figured maybe that's my way to, like, give something, you know, to the gaming world, because I care about it. Well, I care about everything, but, like, I really care about video games.
Yeah.
Like, a lot. And I feel like we have a responsibility to inform people that don't know as much as we do. And some people that write about video games, they don't really feel that sense of responsibility. They just write about it because either they just want to be heard, or it's just something to do, or somebody asked them to do it. But to me, like, especially, you know, on Twitter or amongst people who know me in real life, like, people look at me as somebody who knows what's going on. I don't know everything because I don't play everything, but I know a lot. So if I know that people hold my opinion a little bit higher than, you know, the average person, then I feel like I can't say I'm wrong because they count on me. So whenever I write something on Ourcade Games, I try to write it with that in mind. Like, I want you to read it and feel like whatever it is I'm saying, you could trust it.
Yeah.
And I want everybody else who writes for the site to build that same trust with the readers. Like, that's the plan, or that's my hope. Because it ain't always about me. Like, I might not like a game, but another writer there might like it. So, you know, I don't want you to only be waiting on me to say something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the only person who knows about video games. There's a bunch of us out there. I just want to showcase it. I always kind of think of it as like the black Grantland. I mean, like the video games Grantland, but like with us. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I see in my mind going forward, if possible.
I think, like,
I don't know if I can pull it off, but, you know.
I think, like, with the games, it's like how you were saying, it's not many of us doing it. And you know, it's so it shows that it's a lot of people look at it and think, all right, it's a niche, it's just games, you know what I mean? It's just that, but it's another avenue or another door that we can kick down in that forum, to give another voice to it, which makes it groundbreaking and which makes it important. I never even thought about it until you just said it just now, that it's not many blacks that are doing that. And there's definitely a market for it, because, I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar industry.
Yep. And, I mean, it's not even about just writing about it and being all, you know, what people like to call urban or any crap like that. I'm not trying to get on there and just throw the fact that I'm black in your face every time I write something. But what I'm saying is, we just see stuff different. We just do.
Yeah. It's
just a fact of life. So if I write a review for a game, it's just not going to read the same as if, excuse me, as if somebody from a different background wrote it. Because they not looking for the same stuff as we are, or they not going to connect to the same themes that we'll connect to.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's time. It's been time. It's past time. But, you know, I feel like we just need new eyes on the game. Like, the same type of people have been telling us what they think about video games since forever. And we would never take these people's opinion, you know, if they lived on our block. Why take it on the internet? like, if I saw, like, Greg Miller, if he lived next door to me, I wouldn't be asking him about no video games. I'm not asking my homie in my class or something. Yo, you play that Batman? Yeah, that's on fire. All right, I'm going to go copy it. Like, I'm not asking them for what? They don't look for the same stuff out of games I do. So, you know, like, I tend to think games are more social for us than for any other race. I can't prove that. I don't got no facts or nothing. But I just feel that way. I mean, look at how many people, like, you don't know, but, like, a lot of people are cool with me simply because they play video games with me.
Yeah.
Like, they never really cared about me in no kind of way, and then we played something together, and now we hella cool.
It's a bonding thing.
Like, yeah, but I feel like it's only like that. It's not only like that for us, but I think we use it as that more than anybody else. Because our people, we're just social people. Could bond over anything. Just one more thing to bond over.
Yeah.
I mean, you in our Madden League. Look at our Madden League.
Yeah, and we
And how
talk
everybody interact
about
now as opposed to how everybody interacted year one.
we share a lot of
totally
dope stuff in there.
day.
We share a lot of dope stuff with each other in there, like deep stuff, personal stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very personal. That wasn't happening when we started. It was strictly business. Yo, you trying to trade? Yo, you play a game? All that type of stuff. And then next thing you know, and nobody even realized it. It just happened. And that's the aspect that's missing from this journalism. Like, people won't even factor that in when they're reviewing the game. They don't even factor in the fact that, you know, if you play this game with friends, it's a completely different experience than it is if you playing it alone or playing it with people you don't personally know. Like, there's that element that's just missing that I feel like we can bring. And that's if it comes to writing, podcasts, videos. Like, I got all these ideas, I just don't know how to implement them. Like, I wanted to get my son to write reviews or, like, just make videos. Because, you know, you never get a kid's opinion on if a game is good. Like, nobody does that.
Mm-hmm.
But they know. They know what they like. Like, you have parents like, what should I buy my kid? Don't ask me, ask my son.
Exactly.
He's same age as your son. Asking me for it. I don't play what he play. Like, so, like, it's all this different stuff that's just missing. It's like, somebody needs to provide it. Why not me? But a lot of it is just me getting organized and finding the time and getting the confidence and getting enough people that believe in me to, like, all right, to, like, just back me up and make me feel like this could work.
I think it's,
and I'm working on that part.
A lot of times you can't just you can't wait on folks. You got to go and just kick the door open and make noise on your own. When you make enough noise on your own,
that's true.
People will come and look and see what the noise is about.
Yeah, that's a fact. I think my main problem right now is not knowing what to do first. It's like, I want to do A, B, C, D, E, and F, but where do I start? Like, of course it starts with the writing. But past that, it's like, do I want to start making videos? Do I want to stream every day? Do I want to, you know, do this? Do I want to make the podcast? Like, the podcast mad sporadic at this point. Like, I don't even have a schedule. I just up one day and decide, let's do a podcast. Or I'm going to be like, all right. Or if Garfield's free because he's super busy, then we'll knock one out. But, like, I just need to get everything in order.
Cool, man. That'll work, man. Thanks for stopping by, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. Like, you know, it's cool you let me on because I ain't nobody popping or nothing like that.
Oh, man, everybody, I ain't know
nobody
why.
care about me.
Everybody got a story, man, and that's what this is about.
Just little old Jerrys who don't like nothing.
Whatever, man. We out, man. I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP, that's OTAP, or following us on Twitter at OTAP Show. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen to the podcast on Podcast Republic. Just download the app and search OTAP Show. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.